Angus Taylor's speech, he's going to make a lot of a tax to GDP speed limit of 23.9%. Well, Labor hasn't gone over that, and it won't in the forward estimate, so that'll change nothing, will it?
Well, as the Prime Minister said in the last couple of weeks, they've delivered a true Labor budget. They have spent everything that they've received and then some. You have deficits across the horizon for as far as the eye can see. It's an extraordinary risk for the Australian economy in terms of inflation. Now, Angus's speech hasn't been delivered yet, Tom. I've only read what's in the media. You might have more than I have in terms of...
But we've heard a lot about 23.9%, and that's Labor hasn't gone over that. So that doesn't change anything, does it?
Well, there's still time. There'll be another BIFO before the election, I'd imagine. And I think that their expenditure will just continue to rise. But
this is tax I'm talking about, not expenditure. Tax.
Well, that's where the expenditure comes from, Tom. And the tax rates here are just extraordinary. They have had rivers of gold from the resources sector. They're taking a very large tax take. We've seen large increases in bracket creep, personal income tax rates. Sure, there's cuts coming, but there was a coalition proposition. We have to get the budget under control because the risk to the economy is simply too high. I'll quote something that was in the Oz. There are a conga line of economists disagreeing with Jimbo, the Treasurer, about the impact on inflation. That is the real risk for people who are trying to pay a mortgage. It's an extraordinary difficult time. I've got people sleeping in cars, Tom, who have jobs and are still going to work. It is really tough for them.
Do you need to, on the spending side of things, there's so much spending in there, and indeed the last coalition budget was well above 23.9%. So a structural deficit, if you like, existed then. Do we need a whole look at this, a commission of audit, like last time the coalition came into power, to just figure out what spending can be cut without hurting people that you were alluding to just then?
Well, I won't be committing the Shadow Treasurer to things he may or may not be doing. But never forget that the then Labor opposition wanted us to spend even greater amounts on COVID recovery, on COVID support. They said we didn't spend enough, we didn't spend it for long enough, and yet now we see them in the parliament saying it's all our fault. Well, the reality is we got the country through a very difficult period of time and out the other side in what I think is probably one of the best positions of any nation in the world. The economy is super strong. Look at how much is coming in revenue from gas, from iron ore, from coal, and Labor is blowing it all. They just spend and spend and spend.
Keith Pitt, got to leave it there. Thank you.